Welcome to toy-polloi.
Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi, and today we're going to be looking at a different way to reattach the legs on vintage He-Man and the Masters of the Universe figures. Now previously I've shown you how to reattach the legs using things like He-bands, which are the replacement bands that go between the two legs. These often snap, and that's the problem why these legs fall off, and these bands are very good because they are an exact replacement of what sort of was there originally, but they can be a little tricky to sort of get in place, and I know quite a few people say that they have trouble replacing them because it requires quite a bit of brute force to sort of push the bands in and get them through the legs. So today we have a new way of attaching the legs, and they are called He-hips. I've not used them before. They are a new method of attaching legs that doesn't involve pushing a band through. These are bits that sort of fit inside the pelvis. As I say, I've not tried them yet. I got these just this week. They come from the US and they are sold by the Universe. I'll put a link to where you can get them in the description, but they look really interesting and I'm quite eager to have a go at them. So we'll open up the packets, see what they look like, and see how we actually go about fitting them into the figures. Okay, so this is the packet that arrived. You can see there are multiple versions of them in there. I'm guessing there is a left and a right version because these actually slot into the pelvis part of the figure. If I just bring in Beastman, you can see there's a gap either side and they're supposed to fit into those, and then you pop the legs onto the little ball parts of these. So you don't have to sort of force anything through the pelvis and you don't have to sort of force anything into the legs. It does look like quite an intriguing way of doing it. So let's open up this packet and we'll take a look at them. They are 3D printed, so they're made out of resin, I would guess, because this is not a filament printing. These look like 3D sort of resin printers. You get quite a lot of them in a packet. As I say, I imagine there must be a left and a right. I've not really sort of looked at them closely. Oh, I see. So these sort of pop inside like that. And how do you click them in place? Oh, they just click in place like that. Oh, right. So they're quite an easy thing to sort of push into place. Right, well, it looks like then we need to prepare some legs, because obviously all of the legs that I've taken off still have the old bands in, so I will have to remove these bands. This does take a bit of brute force and requires a screwdriver, so I will get those all ready. I've been told by the guy who makes them that they only work on these furry pelvises, so basically anyone who's wearing furry pants, they should work on. Quite a few of the figures have these furry pants, so I think they will work on a large portion of them. Okay, so I've now got all of the old bands removed, and you can see I've now got empty holes in the top of the legs. Let's try some of these new He-hips. So you get a pair of them and they obviously go round a certain way, and the idea from what I've seen on the video on the Facebook page is that you just insert these into the gap here either side. So that to me looks like the right one to go in this side. So from the video it just looked like you pop these in somehow, not quite sure how. Give them a little wiggle around maybe. Oh yeah, there you go, that one goes in. And then they sort of push up into the top part of this pelvis. I can sort of see how they work. They're supposed to pop into the top of that. They're made out of quite firm plastic, so they can take quite a good sort of push. Let me just see if I can push that in. Yeah, there you go, so that's pushed into there. Feels a little bit loose, maybe that's not quite right, but let's put the other side in, see if that sort of fastens that in. So again, we push this in through there. Let's try and push that on the desk again. That seemed to be the way to do it. So there you go, that's pushed in. And then in the video it just looked like they popped the legs onto these new ball joints. So let me make sure I've got the right leg. Is that the right leg? That is the right leg. So let's pop these on. Squeeze them onto that. This does seem to go on. Oh yeah, I'll do the other one. Yeah, the legs are in place, and I guess you can just pose them. Yeah, well, they certainly seem to work. Let's give that a little bit of a sort of wiggle round just to make sure. And they feel quite firmly on. A little bit loose in there, but overall, that's not too bad. Maybe I need to push that leg on a bit further. Oh yeah, that's probably it. There we go. Yeah, look at that. The legs are on. Not too bad at all. So let's try that a second time. I'll just move that Zodac out of the way. I've got some more of the he hips here, and I'm going to bring in a Hordak. So again, we need to put these around the right way. I think that's the side I need to go in here. So we'll push that in. Oh, I can see actually on the front it says there's an R there. So yeah, this is his right leg. I missed that on the first go. Let's pop those in. It does feel quite sort of hard to force that in. I'm finding just pushing on the desk seems to pop that in. Maybe I'm doing this not quite right. But yeah, that pops in there. Yeah, let's do the other side. In the video, it looked like they were having much easier time doing it. Oh, well, there you go. That one popped in a lot easier. So yeah, that's those in. Let's get some legs. So let's bring in Hordak's leg. So that is the right leg. Pop that onto the ball joint. And I'm going to do his left leg as well. Yeah, that certainly goes on quite easy. And they feel quite firm. I'm not sure how posable they will be. Let's try sort of rotating them round. Okay, you can rotate them round. I think with a little bit of force they would come out, but yeah, for the simplicity of fixing these legs on and making figures stand up again, I think that's a really good option. Right, well, I've got one more to have a go at. I'm going to do that quickly off camera, and then yeah, I'll have a bit more of a play. And here they all are with the he hips in place. I have to say they're relatively easy to fit. I'm not 100% convinced on the sort of posability that they give the figures, but they certainly are easy to fit, and you can see that these figures are now all standing. If we take a look at Zodac, you can see the legs are nicely fitted in there, and you can sort of rotate them around. They're a little bit stiff and they are a little bit limited in the sort of positioning now, just because the ball joint is so sort of solid in there, but they have fitted quite nicely, and for display purposes he does stand up quite nicely. Still have to pose his legs a little bit, but he will stand up there. And on Hordak as well, they've gone in very easily, and you can see that they are nicely sort of firmly held in place. I think with Hordak now though, you can see that his feet don't line up, so they're not sort of flat to the ground. I can't get these legs to sort of rotate and make them any flatter, so it's not a perfect fix by any means, but I think it's quite a good way of doing it. And with Beastman here, they don't seem to want to sort of click in place. You can see I've pushed them in as hard as they will go, but the actual hip pieces don't seem to want to sort of stay in place. Maybe I need to glue these together or something. I can glue them at the bottom, but as you can see they are a bit loose and floppy. I thought this was a sort of the right sort of pelvis, because this is the furry pelvis, but it doesn't seem to want to sort of work. So on him I'm going to say they haven't actually sort of worked perfectly, but the other ones are really quite displayable. They do now stand up very nicely. As to whether I'm going to use these in future, for me I do actually really like the he bands. That I find them quite easy to fit, but I've fitted a lot of them. If you're not too up on fitting the he bands, then I think these he hips are a good alternative. I'll be putting a link to those in the description, so if you want to go and grab those, follow that link. If you've enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell to be notified each time I upload a new video. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching toy-polloi. Subscribe for more great videos. You can also follow toy-polloi on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.